year 2026-2027. Going forward, as part of the performance contracts, all accounting officers will sign a budget discipline and accountability charter, which provides for sanctions against breaches of accountability rules in planning, budgeting, and execution of public resources. 2, combating corruption through procurement reforms, digitization, strengthening internal controls and audits, and ensuring transparency to facilitate accountability. 3, continued enforcement of trade order and traffic discipline to promote safe, orderly, and livable cities and urban centers and improve the safety of public transport. 4, strengthening governance, oversight, and performance of state-owned enterprises. 5, strengthening allocative efficiency by prioritizing high-impact investments under the ATMs and the enablers, while eliminating wasteful expenditure. To this end, as guided by His Excellency the President, state-funded celebrations on public holidays will be suspended except functions on religious holidays. Going forward, public holidays will be observed without official ceremonies. 6, centralizing the management of counterpart funding under the Treasury to safeguard funding for priority projects. 7, implement the contributory public service pension fund to attain fiscal sustainability of the management of pension liabilities for government workers. I now come to the financing of the budget for financial year 2026-2027. The financing strategy for financial year 2026-2027. Mr. Speaker, the financing strategy for financial year 2026-2027 seeks to create additional fiscal space to finance government priorities while maintaining debt sustainability. This will be achieved through, number 1, strengthening tax administration and compliance. 2, introducing targeted tax policy measures to increase domestic revenue. 3, mobilizing concessional financing from development partners and international financial institutions. And 4, expanding alternative sources of financing, including public-private sector partnerships, venture capital, innovative instruments such as Sukuk, and listing of commercially viable public enterprises on the stock exchange. Resource envelope. Right Honorable Speaker, the total resource envelope for financial year 2026-2027 is
84,391,743,343,426 shillings. This is detailed as follows. 1, domestic revenues, Uganda shillings 45.96 trillion, of which 40.16 trillion is tax revenue, 4.02 trillion is non-tax revenue, 1.44 trillion is petroleum revenue, and 339.8 billion is local government revenue. 2, domestic borrowing, Uganda shillings 11.97 trillion. 3, domestic debt refinancing is Uganda shillings 13.97 trillion. External borrowing for general budget financing is Uganda shillings 1.22 trillion. And external financing for projects
is Uganda shillings 11.27 trillion. Expenditure allocations. Mr. Speaker, a summary of the allocations of the above resources is as follows. 1. Wages and salaries, Uganda shillings 9.709 trillion. 2. Non-wage recurrent expenditure, Uganda shillings 33.276 trillion, which also includes operational funds for institutions, financing for all wealth creation funds, financing for science and technology investments, grants for education and health, medicines, maintenance of infrastructure, and interest payments, among others. 3. Development expenditure, Uganda shillings 22.054 trillion. 4. Domestic debt refinancing, 13.967 trillion. 5. Debt amortization, Uganda shillings 4.181 trillion. 6. Domestic debt repayment to Bank of Uganda, Uganda shillings 547 billion. 7. Domestic arrears, Uganda shillings 317 billion. And 8. Local government expenditure from own revenue, Uganda shillings 339.8 billion. Mr. Speaker, details of the resource envelope and expenditure allocations by vote for financial year 2026-2027 are provided in annexes 1 and 2, respectively, of this speech. The budget for financial year 2026-2027, totaling to 84.39 trillion, has therefore increased by Uganda shillings 2.78 trillion from the revised budget of Uganda shillings 81.61 trillion for financial year 2025-2026. I now come to the tax measures for financial year 2026-2027. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me now highlight the key tax policy measures as approved by Parliament to support domestic revenue mobilization, investment, job creation, and economic growth. Under income tax, Mr. Speaker, Parliament approved the following income tax measures. 1. Extension of income tax exemption for Bujagali Energy Limited until 2032 to support affordable electricity tariffs at an estimated revenue cost of Uganda shillings 115 billion per annum. 2. Increase in the pay-as-you-earn threshold from Uganda shillings 235,000 to Uganda shillings 335,000 per month to raise take-home pay for low-income workers at an estimated revenue cost of Uganda shillings 96 billion. 3. Introduction of a 5% withholding tax on payment of interest to foreign lending institutions to ensure equitable taxation of interest income. 4. Provision for individuals to file and pay rental income tax monthly to improve voluntary compliance and reduce tax arrears. 5. Introduction of a tax holiday for developers of hotels and other ultra-luxury tourism facilities investing at least United States dollars 10 million for foreign investors and United States dollars 5 million for Ugandan investors. 6. Equalization of tax treatment of Tier 4 financial institutions by allowing deductions for provisioning for bad debts, thereby reducing the cost of capital. Under value-added tax VAT, Mr. Speaker, Parliament approved the following VAT measures. 1, increase in the annual VAT threshold from Uganda shillings 150 million to Uganda shillings 300 million to ease compliance for small businesses and improve tax administration efficiency. This measure is projected to generate Uganda shillings 349 billion. 2, extension of VAT deferment to inputs used in iron ore processing to support mineral value addition and industrialization. Under excise duty, Mr. Speaker, Parliament approved the following excise duty measures. 1, increase in excise duty on diesel and petrol by Uganda shillings 200 per litre to generate Uganda shillings 450 billion in revenue. 2, increase in excise duties on selected products as follows. 1, alcoholic drinks like Uganda Waraji, Black Label, Cognat, and Amarula from Uganda shillings 1,700 to Uganda shillings 3,500 per litre to generate Uganda shillings 85 billion. 2, motorcycles at first registration from Uganda shillings 200,000 to Uganda shillings 500,000 to generate 26 billion. 3, single-use plastics from 2.5% or $70 per ton to 25% or $1,500 per ton to protect the environment and raise 10 billion. 4, cooking oil from Uganda shillings 200 to Uganda shillings 400 per litre to generate 25 billion. 5, cement from Uganda shillings 500 to Uganda shillings 750 per 50 kilograms per bag to generate 15 billion. And 6, sugar from Uganda shillings 100 to Uganda shillings 200 per kilogram to generate 25 billion. Introduction of excise duty on selected products as follows. 1, locally manufactured paints and varnishes at 3% or shillings 50 per litre or kilogram, whichever is higher, and imported paints and varnishes at 10% or Uganda shillings 2,000 per litre, whichever is higher, to generate 24 billion. And cooking fat at shillings 500 per litre or kilogram to generate 15 billion. On stamp duty, Mr. Speaker, a modest stamp duty has been introduced on the first registration and transfer of motor vehicles and motorcycles as follows. 1, motorcycles, tricycles, and quadricycles, Uganda shillings 30,000. And 2, any other motor vehicle, Uganda shillings 200,000. This will generate Uganda shillings 30 billion. Under the Tax Procedures Code Act, Mr. Speaker, Parliament approved the following tax relief measures. 1, waiver of principal tax, penalty, and interest owed by a taxpayer to URA as at 30th June 2016. 2, extension of the waiver of interest and penalties outstanding as at 30th June 2025, provided the principal tax is paid by 30th June 2027. On external trade, Mr. Speaker, Parliament approved an increase in environmental levy on imported used clothing from 15% to 30% of cost insurance and freight, CIF value, to support local manufacturing as well as local manufacturing and generate Uganda shillings 40 billion. Under lotteries and gaming, Mr. Speaker, Parliament approved increase of the tax for betting from 20% to 30% to harmonize taxation across gaming activities and generate Uganda shillings 24 billion. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, Uganda has become a land of opportunity and promise. Our economy has expanded to United States dollars 69 billion and is projected to grow at a double-digit rates driven by strong export performance, fast oil, and sustained wealth creation interventions. More importantly, this growth is increasingly translating into jobs, higher incomes, and better livelihoods for Ugandans. Investor confidence is rising, and the Ugandan diaspora is responding with increased remittances, investment, and active participation in our transformation. This budget aims to accelerate the attainment of the tenfold growth strategy. Government has allocated 99% of discretionary resources to the ATMs, i.e., agro-industrialization, tourism development, mineral-based industrialization, and science, technology, and innovation, and their key enablers. This budget prioritizes production, productivity, value addition, exports, and job creation. I invite the private sector to take full advantage of these opportunities to create wealth. The budget launches Uganda into the Chisanja No More Sleep. The budget launches Uganda into the Chisanja No More Sleep. Every Ugandan must actively engage in wealth creation, and every leader must be accountable for transforming households and communities. I want to repeat this. The budget launches Uganda into the Chisanja No More Sleep. Every Ugandan must actively engage in wealth creation, and every leader must be accountable for transforming households and communities. The era of planning and debate is over. The era of implementation and results has begun. Our mission is clear: produce more, earn more, export more, and lift every household out of subsistence. I dedicate this budget to all wealth creators, especially the youth whose energy, enterprise, and innovation will drive Uganda's transformation into a $5 billion economy. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you very, very much. I was wondering what you were drinking. I realized it was Uzima. Uzima water that gave you extra strength. Thank you very much. Make the Honorable Minister of Finance feel welcome and appreciated for the good work. Thank you, Honorable Minister, and by extension, His Excellency the President, for your clear delivery of the budget speech for the 2026-2027. As I'm made aware already that every member of Parliament has a text as the budget speech already. I urge you to take note of the government's budgetary priorities and related matters for the coming financial year. This will greatly inform our legislative oversight. Honorable Minister, thank you once again. I didn't know you could stand for that long.
Item number 7, remarks by His Excellency the President.
Honorable members and distinguished guests, I now take this singular honor to invite His Excellency the President to make his remarks, to take us through the budget speech. Your Excellency, we don't take your being here for granted. You're welcome. If you really want to stamp your feet, please do it. You have the permission of the chair, of the speaker. Thank you.
Her Excellency the Vice President, thank you so much. Her Excellency the Vice President, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, all the other political and state leaders, the religious leaders, the cultural leaders, members of the diplomatic corps, and all Ugandans. You have heard how the economy is performing well in spite of many problems in the world. The economy is performing well because Uganda is a very rich country. We've got a lot of potential. I saw one of the people who like writing things here and there, trying to say that we are targeting many areas of support. And I think he was trying to say that in South Korea, they concentrated on electronics and vehicles. But this is because South Korea didn't have much. They concentrated on on the little they had. With us, we have got what South Korea has and much more than that. So that's why I really don't listen so much to people who are running around panicking and so on. What is crucial is clarity here within Uganda about our potential. And the next most important thing is the African market, because when you produce, you must sell. And Africa is our sure market, and then we can add other markets. So this growth of 6.4% is really still modest. As you heard, next year, the growth will go to 10.2% because of the petroleum. As you heard, the performance is good by world standards. But in my view, it can be stronger. I have been, I'm from the communities of this place, indigenous communities here, and I've been following our developments for now 65 years, very closely. But what you need to know is that the aim of the NRM is not just growth, but transformation, socio-economic transformation. It is now, but before I talk about other things, I want us to solve this little problem of Ebola. Ebola is a very simple disease. It is not like corona, as I said last night. Corona was very dangerous because it was spreading by breathing, which meant that if you sat, the other time I got corona from you people in Chankwanzi, when I took a group photograph with you people without my mask. I got corona. And I was here for 21 days sitting in the house. So corona was really dangerous. It was spreading by breathing. But this Ebola spreads only by contact. And contact, close contact with the sweat, with the vomit if they vomit, with the blood, sexual, kissing, saliva. When the person is already sick, not showing symptoms of sickness. So therefore, really, it can be stopped. We just need to get rid of the carelessness. As I told you last night, we have had 19 cases so far. 14 from our brothers in Congo, 14 of them who came. 2 died. But those who came early, 4 of them have already recovered, or the Congolese. 4 have already recovered and been discharged. The others are also recovering. They are not, our people think no more of them will die. And the 2 people who died were the Congolese from the 14. Now, the 5 Ugandans who were infected were the 4 health workers in one of the Kampala hospitals who handled the sick people without taking precautions. That's how 4 of them were infected. Carelessness. Now the 5th one, the Ugandan, was the taxi driver who drove the sick man from Hoima to here. I don't know whether he was greeting him or what, because just driving, if he sits in his chair and you sit in yours, why should he infect you? But fortunately, that driver has now recovered. So of the 4 who recovered, 4 of the 5 who recovered, 4 are Congolese, 1 is a Ugandan. And the 2 who died were all our Congolese brothers. So, and in the last 5 days, there's been no new case. This is very simple. I'm really, I don't like people who don't take life seriously. Because if you want to achieve what you want to achieve, you must be very serious with your life. And part of life is health. If you have got health, you can be able to do what you want to do. The other day I was here, I was seeing you shaking hands, hugging. These are members of parliament now, setting a bad example for all these Africans to get sick and then go in hospitals and so on, or die even. So please, I want to use this occasion to appeal to all the Ugandans to really finish this little problem of Ebola. Ebola is not a serious problem. Yes, there's no vaccine against Ebola yet. There's no direct medicine, but it is very easy to avoid, number one. And number two, even when you get infected, if you report early by controlling the temperature, by controlling the rehydrating you when you vomit and sweat, you can recover, like these people have recovered. So let's I appeal to all Ugandans to solve this little problem. Our brothers and sisters in Congo were coming through the borders. We stopped the buses and passenger vehicles. We only allow cargo, lorries and petrol tankers and so on. But people were coming through the border, the Panya. That's why we have discussed with the Congo government, and they have allowed us to work with them to open medical stations inside Congo near the border and invite our Congolese people, anybody who is sick, come here, don't try to go to Uganda. Because when you go to Uganda, you waste time, you lose time, come here, this is nearer. And we are doing the same here as we are doing in Uganda. So we hope to finish this little problem of Ebola. But you need to set example, shaking hands, hugging. Then these pastors that they are blessing people, as if God is deaf. You can pray, God will hear you without touching people. The health workers, many of them have died in Congo. That's what I hear. Many of these pastors. Some of the people who were the pastors blessing people. Now, coming to the budget, you need to get the strategic picture clearly. Strategic is when you plan to solve a problem from A to Z, the whole problem. Tactical is how you move from A to B. Now, the strategic aim of the NRM is to transform Ugandans. And I want to put it to you that it has taken a bit too long, although we have done well, but we could have done better. I was counting the years. It is now 32 years since the British came here. 132 years. The British came here in 1894 when they introduced their government here. Europe had started modernization. Capitalism had started. The money economy we are talking about had started. It is now 132 years from 1894. The British were trying to involve our grandparents and our great-grandparents into the money economy, and our parents. By 1962, only 9% of the homesteads we're in the money economy. After almost 70 years, only 9% were in the money economy. 91% were still in the Okore Chida Chonka. And I can testify because I'm from Ntungamo. Ntungamo, all of us were in the Okore Chida Chonka. There was not a single one who was interested in money. I know houses one by one. Now, when we were in the bush, we studied this and we put out our document, 10 points program. And point number 5 was on this very point. Please build an economy which is independent, integrated, self-sustaining, meaning, implying, join the money economy. When we came, we started. But when I checked, in 2013, you can imagine, only 32% of the homesteads had joined the money economy. That's how we involved the UPDF. General Saleh, please come and beg these people to join the money economy. Take seedlings to them, free seedlings. Go and beg them. Kulala, they are asleep. Then Saleh did his best. Now recently we have added PDM. But with all this, it's now 67% of the homesteads who are in the money economy with some chibaro. 33% are still refusing to join the money economy. So this is the challenge. That's why we are saying, please, I'm really saying now, no more. We can't go on like this. And this is the work of the leaders. The leaders, the Banyankore say, Amushogomfu, no mwekoreire. The eyes of the dead body are the eyes of the one who's carrying the dead body. If the one who's carrying the dead body falls in the pit, the body also will fall in the pit. I saw this. I'm here. I'm not a story. I am alive. We started with those Banyankore who are very difficult, like the Karamojong, wild really, and we changed them by engaging them. So therefore, what we said the other time here, now that especially there's this money which is already there in the villages, all the leaders, certainly all the ministers, must take the lead in checking parish by parish what is happening to make sure that all these people stop kukongora, stop cheating us. We work, they don't work. They are there, but they want services. They want medicine, they want education, they want security, but they don't contribute. They're just sitting there in their homes and not engaging in the money economy. So although we have done very well, this very good performance the minister is talking about is by the 67% now. And all of them, not necessarily with the Chibaru. Some of them do without the Chibaru. But there are 33% who are Wako Pembeni, they are on the side. Suppose they were also part of this, would be much further. And as the minister, Musasizi, told you, these people joining the money economy is crucial for 2 reasons. First of all, they get income. They get income, which means that their purchasing power goes up. Part of the problem of the purchasing power being low is because they don't have income. I am a wealth creator. I produce milk. But if you look at the figures, The production of milk is now as I was telling you the other day, 5.4 billion liters. But the internal consumption here is only 800 million liters. So that's why you hear we say there's too much milk in Uganda, we must export. But this is an artificial situation. Because with 48 million people, if each one was drinking the milk you're supposed to drink, 210 liters per year, so that you keep mouth in your teeth, you keep your bones, would need 9.6 billion liters of milk. What we are producing now would not be enough. So we are saying there is surplus milk because there is underconsumption. Why is there underconsumption? Because people have no money. They can't buy. The per capita consumption now, but this has gone up because in 1986, it was 18 liters. You can imagine. That's why people have no teeth in their mouth because there's no, the teeth have gone out because they don't have enough calcium. So therefore, this budget is no more Kongora. No more Kongora. No, Kongora is when you work and others just lean on the hoe in the village. No more Kulala. As you heard, a big budget, part of the budget is on infrastructure, on the roads, the railway, the pipeline, the airports, the waterways, electricity, irrigation. These are all, as the minister was saying, enablers to enable production to be done cost effectively, low cost of doing business in Uganda. Now, then the other challenge is on the service delivery. Again, that's where you, the leaders, must come in. Because medical care, Health Center 3, is in every sub-county. These sub-counties are in Uganda. They are not in Congo, they are not in Kenya, they are here. Why should there be no medicine in the health center? Maybe that medicine has been stolen, but the member of parliament doesn't know and doesn't follow up. And people are crying. Then you have the government officials, the Gombora chief. That's why the local government must be very, very strict. The Gombora chiefs, what are they doing? The Giso, this is somebody called the Giso. Have you heard of somebody called the Giso? He's also there. Drugs are being stolen, Giso is there. This is what I can no longer tolerate. The people of Uganda have given me authority a number of times now. I would have to, in the past I was a bit hesitant because I was saying maybe, especially for capital, there was no capital which was being given, but now the capital is there, PDM being stolen. During the elections, I was disturbing the former Minister of Local Government, Majezi, ringing him. I got to campaign in Maracha. Instead of campaigning, people are saying, they have stolen our PDM money. I go from campaign now to, it becomes like a PDM tour. In Maracha, complaining. Then I ring Majezi, please, Majezi, come. Maracha, people are I don't even know what happened there. Buko, I was in Buko. Or was it Kwen? I think it was Kwen. Same problem. He in Kampala, Kawempe, Buambo, where PDM money was being stolen. What is the member of parliament doing? Even the opposition ones, the ones of the NRM, I will struggle with them. But even the opposition ones, as long as you are getting allowance from parliament, and you don't go to check what is happening, I will ask you, the Attorney General, to see how I can deal with you also. Because if you don't want to monitor, don't take the allowances. Say so, go to the clerk, but then why should you get a salary in the first place? So it seems I've got a legal basis where to demand performance from both the NRM and also the opposition. As long as you are getting money of the government, you must check. Because some of the opposition say they do it maliciously. Let the programs not work so that the NRM is blamed. That's not good enough for you. Because these programs are not for NRM, they are for your own people. So therefore, this service delivery, the drugs in the health centers, the justice, corruption, security, law and order, the infrastructure of leadership is there. Member of parliament for every constituency, LC3 for every sub-county, those are paid. The ones who are not paid, I don't blame them so much. The LC2 is not paid, so I don't have to blame him. But the LC3, the member of parliament, the councillor, these are all paid people. They must monitor, and then the government people must monitor. And local government must monitor them, the chief administrative officer. That's why I put in local government some people that people have been saying they are cantankerous, quarrelsome, like Barugahara and Namere. Namere is famous for quarreling, so you go and quarrel with them. Because when I went to Masaka to defend Namere, because I had to go there, say, "Uyu mwana wa mkuza batia, tana mpisa." I said that, but if the lack of mpisa is to, because in Uganda, if you say a thief, and you say you are a thief, tana mpisa. They say you should have kept quiet, the mpisa. This is how you are going to destroy the country. So please, both for economy, but also for service delivery, the leaders must do their work. Fortunately, we are going to get, apart from this money which Musasizi is getting from all those taxes, we are going to get also the oil money. The government will be getting an extra $1.5 billion per year as its share of the government money. Now, I'll discuss with you how to save this money, first of all, to create a sovereign fund so that it can earn money, because that's how some countries like Norway have used their money very well. Instead of using it to buy perfumes and so on, and whiskers, they put their money somewhere and it is gaining interest. But we need to use some of it to do the crucial infrastructure, like the railway. We need to have the railway with Kenya and with Tanzania and with Congo and South Sudan and Rwanda, the ones near us, so that all heavy cargo moves from the road to the railway. Then the petroleum products move from the road to the pipeline. That will leave only the light cargo and passengers on the road. And the economics there, you had Musasizi telling you that it will bring down the cost of transport, of cargo, from 3,000 something to something much less. I'm saying all this so that we harmonize and don't have to waste time arguing, because sometimes we waste time. So we have done well, but we can do much better. Uganda is a very rich country. Now, finally, I'll get time and talk about the environment and the trade order, where we had to remove some of our people from the roadsides and all that chaos which was here. I want to really you people to support this. Don't go on with the cheap politics of misleading our people. Because a country is like a human body. This human body has got many systems which must work in the way God designed them. Breathing, you breathe. There is a whole system, how you breathe. Blood circulation, there is a whole system of how the blood circulates. Seeing, there is a whole system how you see. Hearing, there is a whole system of how you hear. Each system is separate but coordinated by the command post, the brain. Eating, the whole system. Diverse, specialized, but coordinated. Now you cannot say that because I want to eat, I put the food in the ear. I put food in the ear that I want to put food in the ear. Or in the nose. No, the nose is not for food. Sometimes when you are in the hospital in a bad situation, they can pass for sometimes some of the food through the nose. But you can't stay like that for long. Food must be through the mouth and the throat and the stomach. The nose is for breathing. The ears are for hearing. This is how the country is. The road is for vehicles, and the sidewalks are for passengers. Can't you see that? The road is for vehicles and motorcycles. The sidewalks are for passengers. The market, if you want to sell, you sell in a shop or a market or a supermarket. But you now say, no, I want to sell on the roadside. Really, this is not for that. This is for walking. Then you get people supporting that they are politicians. Really sickening. The swamp is for water. Swamp is for water. It is not for Amayuni, not for Rumonde, not for Marukwang, no. It is for water. It's for water. And that swamp is a savior. We are here, we have been here for 4.5 million years. And these things came recently, the permanent buildings, vehicles. What was sustaining us were our swamps and our forests. Even when our level of science was very low, not so much, the swamps and the forests kept us here, and the grass. Now you want to destroy that, and you say you are a Ugandan? No. What are you looking for in the swamp? Swamp is for water. When the Chinese came, they misled some of our people to grow rice in swamps. This was, see how the swamp should look like. That's a real swamp. Papyrus, water, that's how it looks like, the way God created it. And we can use it like that. So therefore, this turning upside down, wanting to eat through the ear, through the nose, not through the mouth. You put food in your eye that you are eating. This is suicide. Even this Ebola you are talking about, why didn't we have Ebola in the past? I had never heard of Ebola. We had other diseases, but we have never had, historically, I've never had, except recently. And I think it is because people are invading the habitats, part of the problem, the habitats of these animals in the forest. Show them the picture of Nabanja, how Nabanja was saving Bugoma forest. They showed it a bit here. See how criminal these people are, the ones you are defending. Bugoma forest. They were showing it here, to put it back again. You see how, see how, what damage they have done. That is, you see these criminals now. Look at the trees they are destroying. These are the people you are defending. What good are these? Whose interests are they serving? These are enemies of Uganda. But I will get time and write something on that. So for now, please let all the political leaders take the lead in getting our 33% of the people who are outside the money economy to join the money economy, do so with the Chibaro, then we deal with the others, value addition and so on, like the minister was saying. I thank you, and I wish you good luck.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for the successful delivery of the budget speech for the financial year 2026-2027. On behalf of Parliament, I pledge our commitment to effectively apply our mandate to realize all your progressive intentions for our beloved country and its gallant citizens.
Adjournment.
I once again want to thank you, Your Excellency, and all dignitaries for gracing this year's budget speech. I pray, may God bless you all. May God bless Uganda. Honorable members, the House is adjourned to Tuesday, 30th June 2026.
The anthems.